what's happened is in the old world, when I joined work, most people were down in here. That's where most people were. That's where the majority of the population were. As time has gone on, more and more people are in here, and the organizations have tried to flex to that because, wow, you get a whole load more energy and you get a whole load more innovation in this world here if everybody's working like this. The CEOs are trying to create this environment, but frankly, they don't know the technology to do it because it's not being thought properly at a conceptual level to think through what actually has to be. Number one, we're going to talk about this more. And number two, they're being treated personally as though they're thinking like this, right? So this is the problem that we're faced with, and it's why it creates a hybrid. So what's occurred, the very smart people, very energetic people are responding to this shift. So how did they respond? What did they do? If we do the next slide. We invented a whole bunch of new stuff, right, on this. We basically, everybody's got a shareholder value statement, a customer value, an employee, an environmental statement. They stick it on the wall, and 99 times out of 100, it's nonsense, and everybody knows it's nonsense. You're sticking values on the wall that you do not buy through hurt. So we're going to get into that more. People are talking about behavioral responsibilities. So you're getting measured on behavioral responsibilities. Soft hierarchies. We don't like hierarchy. You don't like authority. Matrix structures. Everybody reports to everybody. Agile in cells, which is very useful in cells. Leadership training 3. You can run your coach down. The one I love is coaches, not managers. I know what a manager is. I don't actually know what a coach is very specifically. I don't know what I know what a subordinate is in old command and control language. I don't know what an associate is in terms of the new language. So we've got a whole bunch of in ideas trying to get over here, and my view is that they don't get anywhere near over there. Very, very few organizations, that you can count them on about 2 sets of hands that are actually over here. So what has that actually led to? If you go to the next slide. You've got customer value statements, you've got employee value statements, but what happens is shareholders come first when things go wrong. So the customer value statements get denied, the employee value statements get denied. We won't actually go to this just quickly here. Maybe we'll go. Let's go to the next slide. These are just simple things that happen to me personally every day, constantly. I'm charged $3 for sending me a bill. That's a really interesting idea. You're going to charge me money for sending me an invoice? That's what lots of companies are doing now, because they can, and it becomes universal, and it becomes normative. And when I actually say to a millennial, that sounds crazy to me, they sort of look to me and say, no, that's normal. Charging $15 for a late payment on a $60 bill, when I know that company, because my son works for it, is actually extending its own creditors out 60 days. Crazy stuff. Forcing suppliers to make up for a shortfall. That's happened recently with one of our big supermarket chains. Trying to force suppliers to give them 90 days credit. That's happened recently with one of our big mining companies. Hotels providing 0 refunds, even if you change it the same day. I recently had a refund of $480, a booking of $480. I changed it within 2 minutes. I made a change. Sorry, our policy, because of terms and conditions, you have no refunds. I pointed out to the poor lady, there's no such thing as terms and conditions 15 years ago. It was called a human interaction. Do you think that's fair? She said, no, it isn't fair. I then said, well, let's have a look at your value statement. So we actually went to the company's value statement, and I said, do you think that matches your value statement? No, it doesn't match your value statement there. Airlines charging hundreds of dollars. I was flying to Canada, changed my flights by a week, $1,000 to change my flights. I've worked in the airline industry. Change your flights costs you about 20 bucks there. They do it because they can. Large telephone company had a huge party picnic on Sunday. Thousands of people spent a couple of $1 million on the party. On Monday, they lay off 400 people. This is crazy stuff. It's absolute madness. Taking the easy option, another telephone company, of where, well, we'll just cut our costs by taking 4,000 jobs to the Philippines and talk call center type work, instead of taking the managerial job that says I have to actually support my employees and be efficient. It's the denial of and. It's just taking the easy option. That's happening all the time. Now, I don't want to overemphasize it because I could literally run through hundreds of examples of this sort of stuff. So what we're looking at is, if we flip to the previous slide, go back to the next one. We're trying, everybody is working their butts off to get to this sort of picture, that we're putting all this stuff into place in order to get there, and we're flat not getting there, right? So there's something really weird going on. And what I want to talk about is, in the next part of the introduction, is how to represent that, which way you want me? That way, that way. Thank you. As how to represent what's going on, the hybrid state that we're in. So this is just a stopping point in the introduction, leading to an explanation, a further explanation of where we're going. So thank you for that.